was the time when the war of the realm has ended. It was the time when peace was slowly prevailing. Suddenly, a hammer flies in the sky, and beneath it, a thundering voice spoke, giving the message to every civilian of the 10 realms that the old king is no more, and the new king has taken his throne. The voice was heard from Vanaheim to Alfheim, from Nidavellir to Muspelheim, and Svartalfheim to Jotunheim, where even the ice giants felt a chill. The voice continued, and the hammer reached Midgard. Scene change. In the Midgard, we can see that the Avengers are fighting a giant monster when suddenly Mjolnir came and touched Earth, killing the monster in its path, and the voice ended by saying, "Let there be peace, or let there be thunder." All the Avengers were startled, but Iron Man asked, "Does anybody have a marker?" Meanwhile, in Asgard, Thor asked Lady Sif, "Didn't you see that, Sif? Even Odin could not have done that." Lady Sif answered,
Yes, I can see everything. That was a good shot.
Thor wondered if there is anything else in the realms that requires his attention, and said to himself if beating some frost giants will make him feel good. But Lady Sif warned and told Thor that like she was doing her own duty, keeping the Bifrost, he should also do his duty and be a king. After summoning his Mjolnir, he saw that Iron Man has written on it, "Enjoy your retirement." Thor always wanted to be a king from his childhood, and now he is the king of Asgard. But he wondered what a king is to a god. It has been months since the War of the Realms, and Thor has rebuilt his kingdom. And his throne is now attached to a trestle made of stone and wood, and above it was the symbol of great thorn symbolizing defense and destruction. "Leave me," Thor ordered, but in spite of that, Volstagg came before him and said, "My lord, there are many duties that require your attention. The feast and the number of casks of ale I am to be commissioned for one is of dire." Volstagg stopped abruptly and said to himself, "All right," as he understood Thor was in no mood for talking. Volstagg then moved out, everybody present there for his king, his old friend, to stay alone. Thor was missing his old days, his days of being an Avenger, to which he cannot get back because he is now the king of Asgard. All of a sudden a voice entered. It was Loki's voice. Loki asked Thor that how does it feel to sit on father's throne? Thor answered, "I wouldn't know, brother. I have only sat on my throne." Loki again asked if he was nervous giving the speech, as it was his first time, to which the king replied that it was not his first time. Loki continued, "Oh yes, you have told armies to kill, and that you are about to kill them, and then done so, and it is rather different, yes? You are meant to inspire them, and you are meant to..." Thor stopped Loki and asked him, "Tell me, King Loki, Lord of Frost Giants, is it no longer customary to bow visiting a foreign king?" Thor asked Loki to leave and to never enter his kingdom unbidden again, and his raven will keep a close eye on him. While going out, Loki asked Thor from behind, "Is it getting heavier?" Thor turned his head to ask him what, but before he could ask Loki, Loki said, "Mjolnir, I never recall you grunting when you used to pick it up." These words of Loki enraged Thor, and he threw his Mjolnir at him, and Loki in his fear shouted, "Don't!" and Thor stopped his hammer in midair. Loki asked, "How are you doing this?" To which Thor answered, "I am the All-Father now." Loki is often wrong about a great many things, but that day he was right about two. Firstly, the king was feeling the weight of his hammer growing, and secondly, he was nervous about his speech in front of the gathered masses of the Golden City. In his most private time, the Thunder God was practicing his speech, and suddenly he felt a temperature drop and saw the falling of snow, which was not his maid, and exclaimed, "Odin's beard!" And something big crashed, rather it was somebody. It was Galactus. As the frostbitten devourer fell, streets of Asgard were destroyed, and seeing this, enraged Thor charged at him, but Galactus yelled, "Dare!" As Thor was about to hit him, Galactus said, "Stop! I came for help. You are the one who can. The star plague, the great black winter, it is coming." And Galactus fainted, and Thor stopped from hitting him. Since Galactus fell, Asgard has been pouring for weeks, and the lightning was furious. The city officials were busy counting the dead, and Volstagg was in front of the world tree, and the tree was dying since Galactus fell. In the next scene, we can see Thor addressing some individuals that his ravens has searched galaxies to find them, and thanks to them for answering his call. And then we can see the individuals whom Thor was addressing are none other than the heralds of Galactus. Thor then asked them what actually the Star Plague and Black Winter is, to which Silver Surfer answered, suddenly appearing from a wall, "That is the end of everything." Thor was surprised by the sudden appearance of his friend Norrin, aka Silver Surfer, who is now not in a silver form. He was black. Thor asked, "Norrin, my friend, what has happened to you?" And Silver Surfer Black replied that perhaps it is a tale for another time. Silver Surfer asked all the heralds present there that how much do they know about the birth of Galactus, to which Cosmic Ghost Rider answered that he was an explorer of the galaxy before this, and his name was Galen of the planet Ta. He continued that some unknown cataclysm killed his universe, and he was the sole survivor, and he then transformed into... Silver Surfer stopped him midway and told that it was not something unknown. It was the Star Plague, the Bright Storm, the Rod Blizzard, many names but one truth, and it is true. At the end, the Black Winter. Thor then asked Norrin, "How do we stop him?" And Norrin answered, "We do not. The Black Winter killed the universe before ours, Thor. As Galactus devours walls, the Black Plague comes for realities." He continued that however, Galactus was the only one who has survived the Black Winter, not once but twice. First at Galen of Ta, and secondly, a few weeks ago when he narrowly escaped the path of Black Winter and fell on Asgard, so he must be the one to face it. He also told that Galactus must feed on something unique planets that Silver Surfer was hiding, and whose unique energies will provide him powers beyond imaginations, and until he was their only hope. Then all the heralds started wondering, who will be the herald of Galactus this time? And Silver Surfer volunteered, but then Thor told, "Hey, but you will not go alone." Later that day, Thor was getting ready to accompany Norrin, and some memories were coming in his mind. The memory of Sif asking him whether he wants his old life back, and the memory of Loki asking whether Mjolnir was getting heavier. Then Thor looked at his hammer and whispered to himself that the old king is gone, and rubbed what Iron Man wrote on it. In the next scene, we can see that a dozen of heralds was accompanied by Thor and his army, and they were present in front of Galactus. Thor then shouted, "Galactus, kneel!" After that, we can see Silver Surfer Black riding his surfboard. He went in front of Galactus and told him that he can feel Galactus in his head, and asked Galactus if he can assume that Galactus knows the truth. Galactus then replied, "I do, Surfer. that you could shield these things from my mind, that you could yet conceal the location of these planets from me. I am impressed. Surfer then told Galactus that King Thor has graciously agreed to accompany them with his battalion to see the denizens of these planets to safety before he can feed on them, and finally asked if they can begin their journey. Galactus replied, "No," and Surfer got confused and said, "No? I don't understand." Galactus then began to explain that the Frost, the star plague, is not a being, and each galaxy or entity perceive it differently just like him. He continued and he said that the Black Winter, however, when someone gazes into it, they see their death, and he has gazed into it twice. First at Galen, when he watched his universe die before him and saw nothing but pure darkness, as at that point he has not yet seen cosmic wonders. But recently he faced Black Winter again and saw the embodiment of his true death, and suddenly he aimed his hand at Thor and shouted, "I saw Thor!" Everyone was startled, and Norrin shouted, "No!" Volstagg ran to save Thor, but Hogun stopped him, as that blast would have killed him. Galactus again started to speak while blasting at Thor, that he didn't come here for asylum, and if Thor was his death, then they would kill Black Winter together, and when they are done, he would have enclosed so that he may have a word with thee. Galactus then shouted, "Until then, rise, the Herald of Thunder." So hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new to our channel and like our content, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get all our latest updates. Also take a look at Rishita Das's channel, who has helped us by giving the voice of Lady Sif. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you and stay tuned for more.